Hi, it's Mike Ferry and welcome to Mike Ferry TV. It is the week of August 14th. As many of you know, last week in Las Vegas, Nevada, we had a little over 4,000 real estate salespeople, brokers, managers, and agents attend our Superstar Retreat. Hopefully you were one of them. One of the questions that came up several times, and I was kind of surprised that it came up, was could you, Mike, during this particular retreat, review a report you sent out in January 2016? And quite honestly, I said, I don't remember what report I sent out in January 2016. And it was kind of fun. They said, you know, it was a report about a bunch of words and phrases. So I started doing some research after the retreat was done, and I came up with a report. It was called 18 Thoughts, Words, and Phrases to Kickoff 2016. I said, of course, now here we are in almost the third quarter of 2017. How does that apply? And a couple people said to me, well, it was such a good report because like so many of the things you do, you were very concise, very direct and to the point. I said, you're kidding. You're talking about Mike Ferry, direct? Well, here we go. So I found the report and I thought this week and next week I would go through it with you very briefly because there is a good chance some of you read it and forgot. Some of you never had a chance to receive it. And that information is never, ever, ever going to end as being information that you and I need to be more successful as real estate people. So I'm going to go through 9 points of the 18 today. Next week, I'll go through the next 9. I think we'll have some fun with them. Probably want to write them down and see where you are in relationship to each one of them in the application to your business, your listings, your sales, your production, your income, and your real estate business life in common. So here was number 1. I said to a group recently, I said, you know, selling real estate or selling anything is probably 50% mindset, 50% skills, and 50% activities. Now, you know, as soon as I said that, a whole bunch of hands went up and said, Mike, obviously you can't count. I said, I know, I can't count because that's 150%. I said, well, if you're going to succeed at a mediocre level, it doesn't take 100% of your time and energy. If you're going to succeed at a low level, put in a little time, put in a little energy. But if you're going to succeed at a high level, at anything, and it doesn't matter what it is, if you're going to be the best dad, the best mom, the best soccer coach, or the best real estate agent, you better commit way more than 100% of what you're doing at that time to succeeding at that endeavor. So, of course, I say 50% is mindset. What is going on in here at a given moment towards a prospect, a lead, a listing you've taken, a buyer that you're working with, a transaction you're dealing with? What is going on in your head? Because mindset, as you know, is nothing more than what is going on in your head at a given moment about something or somebody. You and I know that a prospect walks in the office or we walk into a seller's home, our mindset can flip from positive to negative or negative to positive very quickly. Why? Because what we see, what we hear is what affects the mindset. Then I said 50% skills. Do you know what to say? When you're sitting with the seller and the seller gives you an objection, do you know how to respond? When they ask you a question, can you respond to that question? You know, are you a professional salesperson or a professional realtor? Because there's two different things. Watch, anybody can get a license and pretend to be a realtor. And good salespeople have learned basic fundamental skills. I'm in a studio right now recording. There's 2 men recording with me. These guys are skilled technicians at recording. They've learned the skills. When I flew in yesterday, there was a pilot, thankfully, had the skills to take off and land the plane. If you're going to a doctor, you want a doctor that has the skills to solve the problem. A buyer or a seller is looking for a real estate salesperson that has high skills to solve the problem they have. 50% mindset, 50% skills, and then of course 50% action. A lot of people, as you know, are always getting ready to get going, to begin, to get moving, to do something maybe tomorrow if they have the time, provided nothing comes up. There's no action. It doesn't matter how positive your mindset is if you don't take action. Doesn't matter how skilled you are if you don't use those skills every single day. So I want you to think about those 2 because they're those 3, because they're very critical to the process. Number 1, 50% mindset, 50% skills, 50% action. Number 2 was a fun one, and it's the word attitude. Probably the most overused, beat up word in the sales language pattern that we could follow. Attitude. Attitude, of course, is how do you see, How do you perceive somebody or something? Driving over to the studio today, I got lost, so that could affect my attitude. I chose not to let it affect my attitude. I called my assistant Jessica, said call the studio. I'm going to be 15 minutes late. Therefore, I don't have to have a negative attitude because I got lost. I got lost. Common sense, it happens. We got lost. Now, why did I get lost? Because I wasn't paying attention. I was on the phone. Those are attitudes we have towards the things we do. What is the attitude you have towards a call you have to make, a lead you have to follow up on? What is the attitude you have towards a listing presentation, a script that we want you to follow? What is the attitude you have when a seller gives you an objection and asks you to cut the commission? See, all of these things dramatically affect your attitude. Earl Nightingale, who you've heard me talk about, always said that attitude is the magic word. The more positive the attitude, the more positive the response. The more positive the attitude, the more positive the results. So we have to work on the word attitude all the time. And then word number 3 in this report was the word approach. Okay, you've got a strong mindset, strong skills, strong action, strong attitude. Do you have a strong approach? Meaning, when you walk up to a prospect, when you walk in on a listing, you know, are you dressed professionally? Do you have a firm handshake? Are your fingernails clean? Are your shoes shined? Do you know what to say the moment you walk in that door? Hi, I'm so excited to be here tonight. To get your home on the market, get it sold, may I come in? See, that's the approach. But our physical appearance, the smile we have, all of those make up the approach. And the stronger the approach, now watch this. Hi, gosh, I hope you like me because I'm going to work hard. Is that a strong approach? Of course not. So we know that the approach we take is based upon our attitude, our mindset, and the skills we have. The stronger the skills, the stronger the mindset, the stronger the approach. So let's go to number 4, is the word expectations. You know, it's interesting. Many years ago, my friend Neil Schwartz said to me, the key to success in selling real estate are the expectations we have. For example, see, I expect all of you that are watching this week to do everything I say. Maybe it's fantasy land, maybe it isn't. But I expect that you're going to respond in a positive manner and take the scripts, the dialogues, the techniques we teach and go use them. I expected the 4,000 people sitting in the room for 4 days with me in Las Vegas last week to do everything I say. Now, are they always going to do it? No. But if I walk in with low expectations, I get low responses. I get low results. So a big part of life, a big part of everything we do are the expectations we have. How strong are your expectations? As you raise your expectations, you raise the opportunities for better results. If you walk into a seller's home with the expectation that they want to move, they have to move, they're going to list it at your price because you're prepared. They're going to list it at your terms because you're prepared. They're going to pay you the commission that you deserve because you're prepared to do the job to earn the commission. If you walk in the house that way, the expectations are high and the results are high. If you walk into the house with low expectations, guess what? Or as my friend Floyd Wickman used to say all the time, if you're riding around the neighborhood on a Shetland pony, you're not going to fall off and get hurt because you can step off a Shetland pony. Well, our expectations for you could take a lot of listings in August, September, October, November, and December. You can have a lot of buyer-controlled sales in that same 5 months. You can earn a lot of money. That is the expectations we have of you. Here's my question. What expectations do you have of yourself? Number 5, of course, is a tough one, and that's the words goal setting or purpose. All right, here we are, August 14th, okay? Now watch. How many hours are you going to commit to working in an area of prospecting 5 days a week from now till December 21st? How many contacts are you going to make per day? How many listing appointments are you going to go on? Be honest. How many listings are you going to take? How many of your listings are going to sell? You and I know right now in most of North America, you take a listing, it's a paycheck. I mean, everything is selling. How many listings you're going to have? How many buyer-controlled sales you're going to have? How many closings? This means you're going to have to set some goals, okay? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? You've got to set a goal of some type. Now, take a 3x5 card and write the number of listings you're going to take, and next to it, the number of sales you're going to have, buyer-controlled or listing sold, and next to that, the money you're going to earn. Put it in your pocket. Look at it 4 or 5 times a day. And then if you want to get creative and goal setting, write down what you're going to do with the money. Maybe it's just a matter of catching up on some bills. Maybe it's the fact you want to get your spouse a wonderful Christmas present. Take your family on a great vacation. What is the goal? What is the objective? What is the purpose? Without it, we're kind of like a person just lost in life. And let's face it, let's be honest. 95% of the people you meet are lost in life because they don't set a goal of any type. Number 6 on this list was the word energy. It takes a lot of energy, don't kid yourself, to go out and prospect 2 or 3 hours a day. Do strong lead follow-up every day. Pre-qualify every buyer and seller in depth. Put together the pre-listing or pre-sale package for the buyer or seller. Get it out into their hands before your appointment. It takes a lot of energy to call back and confirm because now they have information they may not like, and you have to have the energy to address that. It takes a lot of energy to be there on time, professionally dressed, prepared to do your presentation. It takes a lot of energy to handle the objections closed. It takes a lot of energy to get back to the office, and it takes a lot of energy to do it again the next day. Don't kid yourself. If you don't have the energy, you can find the energy. How? Through what's going on up here, what you're ingesting, and the exercise you're getting. Control your energy. I don't see a reason why every person here, every person watching, every person participating cannot work 40 good, solid, energized hours per week. You can do it if you choose to. And then, of course, we go to word number 7, which is the word enthusiasm. If you were at the Superstar Retreat, I talked about it a lot. You can never deny that the word enthusiasm is critical to the sales process. Why? Because it attracts people. It brings people in. If you're excited, if you're enthusiastic about the work you do as a real estate sales professional, people are drawn to you. What is the opposite of enthusiasm? Boring. Now, is that the label you want to have on your name, on your business card to say Bob Smith, boring? No, it doesn't say that. But if you're not an excited person, you're a boring person. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, well, Mike, it's not my style to be enthusiastic. So what is your style? Think about that. Is your style really putting people to sleep, boring them to tears, droning on and on during a presentation so they cannot make a decision because you're not exciting them enough to make a decision? Or is your style, if you are not naturally enthusiastic, to be enthusiastic at the moment? Because see, anybody can fake being enthusiastic. Anybody can get excited for a few minutes. Do you think that a seller or a buyer wants an enthusiastic person handling their property, or do they want a boring person handling their property? We both know the answer to that, and that, of course, is an enthusiastic person. Learn to fake it if you don't naturally have it, and if you naturally have it, bless you and contain it and use it while prospecting, doing lead follow-up, pre-qualifying, and presentations. Number 8 on this list was fun. It was the word discipline. It's a tough one because, you know, we're independent contractors in real estate, which we all know that we are. And of course, as independent contractors, nobody can tell us what to say. They can't tell us what to do. They can't force us into anything. If there has ever been an opportunity for an individual in North America to make a lot of money as a salesperson, it's in real estate. Why? The properties are expensive, the commissions are big, and you make big paychecks. But it takes a lot of discipline that you don't have to have in a normal job. In a normal job, you show up at a certain time, you do the job required of you, and if you don't, you're terminated or fired. And you get paid a certain amount of money for that job you do. You go on your breaks at a certain time, lunch at a certain time, you go home at a certain time. Well, in real estate, none of that exists. It's all truly up to you. You are an entrepreneur as a real estate agent. If you're not a self-starter, if you can't get up, get going, and do the job. But Mike, I don't know what to do. Sure you do. You just choose not to do it. Would you agree that you have to manage your time? Of course you understand that. Would you agree you have to talk to people every day? Of course you know that. Would you agree that you have to follow up on the people you talk to? Of course. Each of these takes a lot of discipline, because if we don't have the discipline, the people that we should be calling are not called. And then when you call back, they've listed or bought from somebody else, and then you want to be mad. And you should be mad at yourself for a lack of discipline in doing the job the way you're supposed to do it. Discipline is the name of the game. And number 9 on our list is, of course, the words hard work. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. You want a big commission check. You want a number of checks. You want to make a lot of money, 100,000, 300,000, 500,000 a year, but you're not willing to put in the time and the energy and the hard work. Several years ago, I produced a big poster we sent to all of our clients called The Definition of Hard Work. And it was very, very popular with those that actually work. It wasn't popular at all with those people that don't work. Are you a person that's willing to put in the time and the energy? Now think about these first 9. Starting with 50% mindset, 50% skills, 50% actions. And then look at the word attitude and look right through this list and rate yourself from 1 to 10. 1 being nearly dead and nobody's told you, and 10 being a top producing individual who's making and achieving the goals they've set and satisfying the needs of buyers and sellers with the good service you offer because of the skills you have. Again, for those of you that attended the retreat last week in Las Vegas, thank you for being there. It was really an incredible event. I have to say it was kind of fun. During our tour in May and June, one of the stops that I had, I was talking about the retreat to about 300 agents in a company I was working for. And one of the ladies put up her hand and I said, yes, ma'am, what is it? And she said, okay, you're going to do a 4-day retreat in Las Vegas. I said, yes, we are. She said, how many speakers do you have in the 4 days? I said, 1. And she goes, you mean you're the only speaker? I said, yes. She said, you mean you speak from 9 to 4 for 4 days? I said, yes, I do. That's my job. And she goes, well, I want to say something that you may not like. I said, go ahead. Well, quite honestly, she goes, I don't care for you. And I said, well, that's fine. We're even. And she goes, what do you mean we're even? I said, I don't care for you either. But caring for each other is not the issue. The issue is, can Mike Ferry, as a real estate sales trainer, help you achieve better production? If it can, keep watching, keep listening, keep learning, keep earning. Talk to you next week.